Michael Appleton has joined me. Is that your most difficult afternoon as Lincoln manager?
Well, it's one of them, obviously, because the way the game sort of transpired, it looked like that the first goal was going to be important. I think you could see that in the first half, a bit of nervousness about play. I suppose the disappointing thing was how the goal come about, and the fact that it's probably the only time they've been in the box in the second half. So they were the frustrations, and it was clear to see, obviously, once they got the goal, how difficult it was going to be because the amount of bodies they had behind the ball. So I said to the players in there, at the minute, from the sort of side of the pitch, it looks like we're attacking a hockey goal, or maybe even something smaller in terms of their mindset. You know, that's how it's difficult for them at the minute. And yes, I can be critical of them, and rightly so, for some of the decisions making in certain situations, whether it's a cross, a shot, and all them type of things. But it won't help them. It won't help them. I need to find a way of sort of keeping their spirits high, making sure that we go into sort of the next two games with as much confidence as we possibly can under the circumstances.
Again, another afternoon where the goalkeeper was hardly challenged in terms of the Hartlepool keeper. How frustrating is that getting them?
Well, it is. And it's one of them where sometimes you look around to the bench and see what you can do, and unfortunately there's not a lot that you can do. So the same personnel are going to have to find a different way, and they're going to have to be brave enough to take shots on, brave enough to, when they get into 1v1 situations, go and beat the man. Don't take responsibility, pass the ball back and give it someone else to do it. We certainly get into the opposition's box enough times. You've been here for the last 2.5 years. It's something that we sort of pride ourselves on, but at this moment in time we haven't got a killer instinct.
Obviously you've stuck with the 4-3-3 throughout your time here. Is there part of you thinking you might change something in terms of that formation?
Well, we have to change something, but you've got to change something with the players that you've got. So we've been a little bit square pegs round holes for the last probably 6 weeks because of the availability or unavailability of certain players in the group. So we have to do something different. It's just making sure that we do something different that doesn't hurt us too much, but at the same time gives us a better opportunity to try and get a goal or two.
Chris Maguire was exchanging words with supporters at the end. What happened there?
Yeah, I mean, he's a little bit too experienced for that, you know, and he don't need to get involved in that. What he basically told me that he was basically, someone had said something to him and he wanted to go and have a conversation, basically, just to say, like, you know, try and get off the backs of like certain players in the team, because obviously they are a young group and they will be affected. But having said that, he still should know better. You know, he's an experienced player, but he's a passionate player as well. He lives with his heart on the sleeve. He always has done. And for as much as, you know, it doesn't look good, I can assure you it just comes out of pure frustration. And the fact that, you know, it did happen shows me that, you know, there is a frustration within the group. They want to do it and they want to make sure that they, you know, improve.
The situations like that, though, make it more difficult for the players because there's that bit of discourse between the supporters and the players.
Well, it can galvanise them as well. It can galvanise the group, you know, us against, you know, the world type of situation. So I suppose the coming games and coming weeks will sort of dictate that. You know, players are not missing the target on purpose. Players are not losing the game on purpose. They're not sort of mishitting a cross and putting it out and stand on purpose. The effort's there. They're just at this moment in time. Whether it's obviously scoring that first goal or obviously players playing in certain areas of the field that they're not used to. It's difficult.
And in terms of your managerial career, how difficult is this spell at the moment?
Well, this has only happened to me once before. 4 games without getting a victory. It's only happened once. 4 losses. I know midweek wasn't a loss, but it was. We didn't get through. So yeah, it's difficult. It is difficult, but you know, this is what you're in it for. The reality is, it's not always going to be rosy. You're going to get stick. You're going to have tough times. Your team are going to find it difficult. There's no point shying away from it. I certainly won't do that. We'll try and find solutions to try and help the players and make them better and help us to try and score goals, and we'll continue to do that. But it's going to be with the players that we've got and what you've seen out there today, because you know, it's not going to change anytime soon unless someone tells me differently.
Liam Brickett was just out a few moments ago doing some work. Is he looking good for Tuesday?
Hopefully. I don't think he can play 90 minutes, but if he can play as many minutes as he possibly can before, obviously we put him at risk for the rest of the sort of festive period. So I would have loved an opportunity to sort of be in front today by a goal or two and then give him 20 minutes, but as it happened, that wasn't the case. And Briggs isn't, with the greatest respect to him, the type of player that you're going to bring on when you need a goal as such. So we'll try and use him as wisely as we possibly can on Tuesday.
Frustration shown at full time by supporters, always understandable in a result like this. What's your message to them as they make their journey back home tonight?
Listen, we're clearly disappointed as what they are, and we're just as frustrated as what they are. But it's not from a want of or a lack of trying, lack of effort. Might look like that sometimes, but that's what you want to see, because you're frustrated and you're angry and your team are down. You want to have a reason to have a pop at them other than just the quality at times has let us down. So if they can find a way of sticking behind the players, and at times when it gets really, really difficult. I mean, at the end of the day, this is where you really find out about your club. So whether it's players, staff, fans, you find out what type of club you're at, because obviously Lincoln for a long, long time, everything's been on the up for the last 3 or 4 years. All I'd say is that those who were here when it was National League and there was 1,000, 1,800 people, I guarantee they'll be here every single week for the next few weeks, and we probably need them type of fans to help us through this sort of sticky period, and if they do that, I'm sure that the fortunes will change.